Hello everybody, this is Yugi. Sorry, this is a re-upload because I messed up a bit in the previous recording or rather the previous video, and I did not fact check something. So unfortunately, I have to re-upload because I don't want to be putting out misinformation. Anyways, today this video is gonna be about what you can do to prepare for stuff that's coming up in New Age. So this is gonna include some of the stuff that's gonna come in the new patch in about 2 months' time, and what you can do right now to prepare for it. This is like kind of like a mental checklist for myself as well, so that I don't forget stuff when New Age actually drops and I know what I want to do and what I should be doing before that. Okay, I'll try and keep this video a little bit shorter. People were complaining the previous when I uploaded the previous video that it was not short, but anyways, I'll try my best. All right, try to keep it under 20. Let's go. All right. First of all, we'll talk about V matrix changes. So for V matrix changes, basically, they give you maxed out slots for your V matrix, like the number of slots that you get in total is maxed out at level 260 now instead of at level 300. So for comparison, before you had 18 slots at V matrix at level 260, assuming that you didn't use Meso to enhance or sorry to unlock any of the other slots. But after in New Age, you get all 24 slots, which is the max number at level 260. So what this means is that for classes that have loads of boost nodes, and you don't really have space for a lot of other stuff, you now have more space for other stuff, such as like maybe decent advanced bless, or even for your special nodes like death blow. For classes that already don't have a lot of boost nodes, or like tricores like hero for example, you only have 4, you can maybe consider putting in decent hyperbody and decent mystic door. So these two skills, basically, they are completely useless most of the time, but they do have a passive 5%, 5, not 5%, but 5 all stat for being level 25. So if you want to prepare them, you think that you have space to put them in the future, you might as well just max them out. If you have extra cores, this is kind of a whale option. So if you have, extra cores from grinding, or if you have extra cores from the 6-star event, you can dump them into decent mystic door and decent hyperbody on your main, and get that 10 all stat. Very pog. If you have the slots to put them in, of course. Other than that, there isn't much else to talk about, I think. Yeah. That's pretty much it for V matrix changes, except that also you get the enhanced slots. You get the max number of enhanced slots as well at level 260, but that one's not really a big deal. Alright, moving on. We have 3 new areas unlocked in New Age. You have new areas at level 275, 280, and 285. The 285 area I expect to be in the second patch, and the 275 and 280 area should be in the first patch. So the 3 areas are Shangri-La, Arteria, and Carcion respectively, and they're unlocked at 275, 280, and 285. New symbols, like authentic symbols, are also unlocked at these areas. So we have 3 new authentic symbols that correspond to these 3 new areas. And what this means for you guys is basically you should try and get to a certain level, like level breakpoints now, like 275 and 280, if you're not there yet. If you're close, definitely push for it. If you want to push for 285 like me and you're a madman, then also go ahead. So what I mean by second patch and first patch is in in KMS, generally they have 3-part patches. So the first part patch for KMS released Shangri-La, second part released Arteria, and then third part released Carcion. But for Maple Sea and GMS, we generally only do 2-part patches. So we do like one patch, and then afterwards, like maybe a month and a half later, we do another patch. So yeah, that's what I mean by 2-part patches. So expect to get both Shangri-La and Arteria on the first patch, and the second patch we will get Carcion. So yeah, just be aware of that, and plan your leveling accordingly. Okay, next we have the big stuff, the HEXA matrix, basically 6 job for everybody. The HEXA matrix is basically kind of similar to the V matrix, where you have mastery cores that boost your 1st to 4th job skills. It's like your try/boost cores that you have right now. You have enhancement cores, which you get 4 of for your 4 respective 5th job skills. These all give, I think, flat FD% for all classes, if I'm not wrong. So basically, like, your skills just get like final damage, and they become stronger basically for your 5th job skills. And you also get 1 new origin skill, which is like a 6-minute cooldown. It's a big burst and iframe skill, and it also gives you an origin bind for 10 seconds. I think for all like jobs, it's a 6-minute cooldown across the board, and not all of them do big burst damage, but most of them do. And the iframe also lasts the entire duration of the skill itself. The skill itself is about 7 seconds on average, I think, for every single class. So it's quite a long iframe for everybody. And Origin Bind basically is kind of like Lucid Bind in reg servers, if y'all know what Lucid Bind is. If you don't, then basically it's like a bind that has its own internal bind cooldown, and it stacks with other binds. Stacks as in like they don't like you can chain the binds together. So you have like normal binds that are like Erda Nova and other class binds. Then you have Lucid Bind, which also has its own internal bind timer, and also you can chain. And then now you have Origin Bind that you can also chain along with that. So basically, in reg servers, you can have up to like 30 to 35 seconds worth of bind. Not even including Zero yet. Zero also has like Critical Bind and Shadow Rain. Those are also their own internal timers, by the way. So, but I'm not going to go into that. But basically, what I'm saying is the Origin Bind gives you like a new bind and a new chainable bind, which is cool. All of these new skills, the Mastery Core, the 4 Enhancement Cores, as well as the new Origin skill, can all be leveled to level 30 max. And we'll get into like the leveling now. So the materials that you need 2 types of materials in order to level up these Hexa Matrix skills. They either need to be farmed or bought to upgrade them. And they're called Soul Erda, as well as Soul Erda Fragments. So it's a bit confusing because for Soul Erda, you need Soul Erda energy. So it's like a 2-part process. Like you need to convert Soul Erda energy into Soul Erda, right? And Soul Erda drops from either bosses or from mobs when grinding. These are untradeable, by the way. Soul Erda is untradeable. So you need Soul Erda energy, and it converts into Soul Erda, right? So that's the first material, Soul Erda. The second material is Soul Erda Fragments, which drop solely from grinding mobs. You can't drop them from bosses at all. But these are tradable in reg server. Unfortunately, of course, in Reboot, they're untradable because you can't trade in Reboot. You can't even put them in the storage, so you're kind of stuck grinding for these by yourself. Alright? This one's simpler. There's no like conversion. This is just Soul Erda Fragments. So what this means for everybody is what you need to know about this is that both of these drops are affected by drop rate. So please get drop rate gear ready. If you don't have drop rate gear yet, if you don't have like farming drop rate gear yet, you don't have like max drop rate yet, you should probably try your best to get more drop rate. Because both of these drops, the main focus for both of these drops is from grinding. It's not really from bossing. Bosses don't drop a lot of it, so you don't expect it to be your main income of Soul Erda energy. Your main income of it is honestly grinding. So if possible, get drop rate gear ready so that you can grind for Soul Erda and for Soul Erda Fragments. You have to put in some hours, basically. I think rough estimate I heard is about 1k hours on Reboot to max out all the skills. I'm not 100%, but you'll have to go and figure that out yourself. Okay, second thing to take note of is that Soul Erda energy. The first thing, if y'all remember, the first thing here, the one that drops from bosses and all mobs when grinding and is untradeable, is a lot more common than Soul Erda Fragments are. So you can buy, because it's more common, you always tend to have a shortfall of Soul Erda Fragments. However, on reg server, you can buy the shortfall Soul Erda Fragments from the auction house or from other players. So you tend to not be gated by Soul Erda energy. However, on Reboot, you tend to not be gated by Soul Erda Fragments. However, on Reboot, because Soul Erda energy is so much more common and you can't get enough Soul Erda Fragments, you're just gated by Fragments in general. So it's just tough for Reboot, especially since Hexa stat also uses Soul Erda Fragments. So unfortunately, you're gonna have to plan out your route of how you want to level up your skills properly in Reboot. Because you are definitely gated by something. You're gated by Fragments. For reg server, you're mostly gated by how much energy you can grind, like Soul Erda energy you can grind, because you can always just buy Soul Erda Fragments. Anyways, I have some examples of cheap DR gear to get while grinding. Obviously, if you have L-Port Event Rings, those are generally easy to get with L-Port Event Ring Scrolls. You have Wealth Acquisition Potions, that one's given. Twin Coupon, which is C only. Drop Familiars, which is GMS only, and Union Luck, which you can save up for right now and save up Union coins for your grind sessions. More expensive options, of course, include like buying more DR gear from the auction house or from other players. So yeah, those are like the cheaper options to get while you're grinding. Honestly, I would recommend getting all of these things if possible. Union Luck, especially while grinding. Like honestly, I think it's worth it, but I mean it's up to you, right? Okay. Other thing, small reminder is to save your Black Mage, your November Black Mage runs for after the patch hits, so you can get that extra little bit of Soul Eater energy from the boss. Because if you do Black Mage like at the start of November and then patch hits on like the 15th or 16th, you will not get compensated for the Soul Eater energy from Black Mage for that month. So you'll just not get Soul Eater energy for that month because you already did the boss. So my recommendation is to save your run. Do it after patch. I think at least. I don't think they'll compensate you. I'm pretty sure they're not that nice. So just prepare for worst case scenario, just save your run so that you can get your Soul Eater energy from Black Mage. It's not that much, but you know, every little bit counts. The last thing that you should probably do is look up a leveling priority guide from KMS or your class discords for Hexa Matrix, so you don't spend your hard-earned Soul Eater fragments and Soul Eater energy efficiently. All right. Shameless talk. I do have one for Hero on my channel already. If you want to check that out, go ahead. I'm not gonna make any more, obviously, because I only care about Hero, and I don't really have enough time. So if y'all want other Hexa Matrix priorities, should probably go and look on Invent, like the KMS Reddit, or like on your own class Discord and see if anyone has done their own research already. Because yeah, you really want to try and min-max, especially on Reboot when you kind of like quite heavily gated by grinding. You should probably spend your time efficiently if possible. Okay, anyways, moving on. Past the Hexa Matrix. Now we're talking about inner ability. So on the things that changed in New Age for inner ability are that they removed quite a few lines. They removed flat defense, they removed jump, speed, and defense percent from inner ability completely. So you don't see these lines anymore in inner ability, which is great because that just means that the move pool is less diluted and you have a higher chance of getting what you want, because those are useless lines that nobody wants. When you reset a legend, you no longer see rare lines appear on your second and third line. Instead, epic lines will appear 85% of the time now, as compared to 40% from before. So basically, every single line will be either legend, rare, legend, epic, or unique once you have a legendary inner ability, which is great. And also, unique lines on second and third line will also now appear at 15% of the time, as compared to 10% from before. So it's actually a 50% increase in the number of unique lines that you see on your inner ability, which is huge because that means that you're much more likely now than you are before, or should I say, you're much more likely after patch than you are before patch to get a unique inner ability line appear. So it's very good for rolling like unique second and third line. What this means is that you should save all your honor until New Age, especially if you have, like, especially if you're looking to get like 2-3 line, both second and third line like unique IA. You should definitely save all your honor. You should ignore all 50% of IA events until New Age hits. You don't want to be wasting your honor, like, especially if you're on like Reboot or if you're on Maplesea and you don't want to pay for honor and you're kind of like F2P. You definitely do not want to be spending your hard-earned honor on prior to New Age, because that's just throwing, basically. Like, you're gonna miss out on all these new benefits that come with New Age. Don't be like Rietsu. Rietsu saved up 4 mil honor and then he was stupid and he decided to roll the previous 50% IA in Maplesea and he ended up with nothing. If you do that, you're stupid. Please don't be stupid. Just wait. Just be patient. It's like another 2 months. After that, you can go ham on the next 50% off after New Age, right? Before that, it's a bad idea. It's a really bad idea. Okay, that's for inner ability. Okay, we're going to talk about new seed ring boxes and level 5 seed rings. So this is the part that I had to edit out the previous video because I got it wrong. Anyways, so the tower, the seed or Tower of Oz no longer drops seed rings. So for before, what you would do is you would do seed, you get a box, you open a box, you hope for a ring. What happens after is that you can no longer do seed because it no longer drops a box. So after you would do bosses. Basically all the boxes have now dropped from bosses. So you would do bosses, you hope that the boss drops a C ring box, and then you would open it and hope for a ring, basically. And there are different tiers to there are different tiers to the seed rings as well. I mean, seed ring boxes. So like the lowest tier is like for the lowest tier of bosses, obviously, and then it goes up as you go along. I think this last tier is only for Saren, Carlos, and Carling, if I'm not wrong. I don't remember. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. Basically, the better the box is, or the harder the boss that you defeat, the better the box is, and the higher chance that you get what you want. Basically, the last tier, I think it guarantees level 3 or level 4 ring. Everything else is like, it's like a varying chance for level 1 to level 4, but I think the last tier is level 3 to level 4 exclusively. So yeah. What this means is that overall, it's harder to get RR3s or 4s or weapon jump 3s or 4s from the new ring boxes. Supposedly, this one, it's not 100% confirmed, but I've pretty much heard it from most sources that it's harder to get the rings that you want from these new ring boxes. Mostly because they're not a guaranteed drop from bosses. So you can't like grind like Oz, or you can't grind like the seed for boxes anymore. You have to like do bosses and pray that you get what you want. And pray that they even drop a box in the first place, to be honest. So if you really, really want a ring, honestly, I suggest, especially if you're on Reboot, I suggest that you go and grind seed or Oz now and pray that you get what you want. Because after the change happens, you're really just stuck with, you know, bossing and then hoping that the boss drops a ring box and then hoping that the ring box gives you what you want. Unlike now where you can just do Oz and you're guaranteed to get a ring box and you can try your best to, I mean, you can just open the ring box basically, and it eliminates one of the factors of RNG basically. The other thing that to take note of is that you need to clear the harder content to get the better boxes, like harder bosses basically. Like for example, you have like the Arcane River bosses, and then you also have the C10 bosses, which are harder, obviously. And those have a higher chance of giving you the big rings, so you should probably get the forming parties. This is the part that I messed up in the previous video. Apparently, they are instance drop in Reboot, so you don't have to worry about, you know, having to, you know, wait in line for a ring box or like, you know, blink for a ring box or anything like that. So as long as you can clear the boss and do your 5% damage, you're good. You get a ring. There's a good chance that you get a ring box. So yeah, try your best. Okay, moving on. We also have level 5 seed rings now. So what's level 5 seed rings are basically upgrades from your level 4 seed rings, obviously. But you cannot upgrade your level 3 seed ring. So basically, if you have a level 4 seed ring, you can upgrade it to level 5. But you cannot upgrade your level 3 seed ring or your level 2 seed ring to like level 4 or level 3 respectively. So it's only from level 4 to level 5. Don't get it messed up, alright? You can't actually upgrade your RR3 to RR4. You can get these level 5 seed rings by getting polishing stones, which only drop from Carlos and Carling as of right now, only Carlos and Carling, and they have a fixed rate of upgrading your ring. Basically, all the upgrades will give you like the same type of effect, which is more duration of your for your seed ring. So like RR4 will go from 15 seconds of 100% attack to 20 seconds of 100% attack for RR when compared to RR5. And it's the same for weapon jump. Basically, these rings just help you because origin skills tend to take very long to cast, and you don't have a lot of time after the origin skill ends to make use of the rest of your seed ring. Because origin skill is about 7 seconds, so you only have like at most 8 seconds of your seed ring left after you exit the origin skill. So these seed ring boxes these new seed rings basically just give you a longer time. Like basically your whole bind duration, like origin bind plus normal bind, you have a seed ring up, which is nice. Now, I took this off orangemushroom.net. Thank you, Max, for this table. It's basically a table to show you what you can do with polishing stones and what are the rates for upgrading your seed rings. So as you can see, the higher the number of polishing stones that you have, the higher the success rate, obviously. But also there's also an increasing meso cost. So if you use one if you use one polishing stone, it only costs you 500 meso to upgrade the seed ring. But if you fail, you fail. You only have a 10% chance, obviously. But if you use 5, it's 5 build meso. It's definitely not linear. It's an exponential increase in price. So it depends on you how much you want to use. Personally, I think probably like 3, 4, or 5 is probably the best idea. I don't think 1 or 2 is a good idea. Depending on how rare these polishing stones are, they're probably going to be very rare. So you probably want to save up a little bit so that you have a better chance of getting what you want. But anyways, that's for like in the future. Right now, it doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna leave this here so you guys can make decisions yourself based on what seed rings you want to upgrade. Okay, that's about it. I actually kept it to under 20 minutes, but I think the videos I have to say bye. Okay, thanks, bye. Under 20 minutes.